Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Yokshan, Medan, Midian, Yishbak, and Shuach. Yokshan fathered Shiva and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, Lumim. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanach, Avida, Eldaah. All these were the descendants of Keturah. Abraham gave everything he owned to Itzhak, but to the sons of the concubines he made grants while he was still living and sent them off to the east, to the land of Kedem, away from Itzhak his son. This is how long Abraham lived, 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last, dying at a ripe old age, and an old man full of years. And he was gathered to his people. Itzhak and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron. The sons of Zohar the Hittite by Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased from the sons of Het. Abraham was buried there with Sarah, his wife. After Abraham died, God blessed Itzhak, his son, and Itzhak lived near Ber Loka Roi. Here is the genealogy of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar, the Egyptian woman, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, listed in the order of their birth. The firstborn of Ishmael was Neviot, followed by Kedar, Adbel, Missam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tima, Tsor, Nephish, and Kedma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names according to their settlements and camps, 12 tribal rulers. This is how long Ishmael lived, 137 years. Then he breathed his last, died, and was gathered to his people. Ishmael's sons lived between Havilah and Shur, near Egypt, as you go towards Ashur. He settled near all his kinsmen. Here is the history of Itzhak, Abraham's son. Abraham fathered Itzhak. Itzhak was 40 years old when he took Rivkah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Arami, from Patan, Aram, the sister of Lavan and Arami, to be his wife. Itzhak prayed to Adonai on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. Adonai heeded his prayer, and Yivkah became pregnant. The children fought with each other inside her so much that she said, "If it's going to be like this, why go on living?" So she went to inquire Adonai, who answered her, "There are 2 nations in your womb. From birth they will be 2 rival peoples. On these peoples will be stronger than the other. The older will serve the younger." When the time for her delivery came, there were twins in her womb. The first came out, was reddish, and covered all over with hair, like a coat. So they named him Esau, completely formed, that is, having hair already. When his brother emerged, when holding his hand holding Esau's heel, so he was called Yaakov. He catches by the heel, he supplants. Itzhak was 60 years old when she bore them. The boys grew, and Esau became a skillful hunter and outdoorsman, while Yaakov was a quiet man who stayed in the tents. Itzhak favored Esau because he had a taste for game. Rivkah favored Yaakov. One day, when Yaakov had cooked some stew, Esau came in from the open country, exhausted, and said to Yaakov, "Please, let me gulp down some of that red stuff. I'm exhausted." This is why he was called Edom, red. Yaakov answered, First, sell me your rights as the firstborn." "Look, I'm about to die," said Esau. "What use is it to me all my rights as the firstborn?" Yaakov said, "First, swear to me." So he swore to him, thus selling his birthright to Yaakov. Then Yaakov gave him bread and lentil stew. He ate and drank, got up, and went on his way. Thus Esau showed how little he valued his birthright. A famine came over the land, not the same as the first famine, which had taken place when Abraham was alive. Itzhak went to Gerar, to Avimelech, king of Plishtim. Adonai appeared to him and said, "Don't go into Egypt, but live where I tell you. Stay in this land, and I will be with you and bless you, because I will give all these lands to you and to your descendants. I will fulfill the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of the sky. I will give all these lands to your descendants, and by your descendants all the nations of the earth will bless themselves. All this is because Abraham heeded what I said and did what I told him to do. He followed my mitzvot, my regulations, and my teachings." So Itzhak settled in Gerar. The men of the place asked him about his wife, and out of fear he said, "She is my sister." He thought, "If I tell them she's my wife, they might kill me in order to have Rivkah. After all, she is a beautiful woman." But one day, after he had lived there a long time, Avimelech, king of Plishtim, happened to be looking out of his window when he spotted Itzhak caressing Rivkah, his wife. Abimelech summoned Itzhak and said, "So she is your wife after all? How come you said she is my sister?" Itzhak responded, "Because I thought I could get killed because of her." Abimelech said, "What is this that you have done to us? One of the people could have easily slept with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." Then Abimelech warned all the people, "Whoever touches this man or his wife will certainly be put to death." Itzhak planted crops in the land and reaped that year 100 times as much as he sowed. Adonai had blessed him. The men became rich and prospered more and more until he had become very wealthy indeed. He had flocks, cattle, and a large household, and the Plishtim envied him. Now the Plishtim had stopped up and filled with dirt all the wells his father's servants had dug during the lifetime of Abraham his father. Abimelech said to Itzhak, "You must go away from us, because you have become much more powerful than we are." So Itzhak left, came up to Vidi Gerar, and lived there. Itzhak reopened the wells which had been dug during the lifetime of Abraham his father, the ones the Plishtim had stopped up after Abraham died, and called them by the names his father had used for them. Itzhak's servants dug in the vadi and uncovered a spring of running water. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Itzhak's herdsmen, claiming, "That water is ours." So he called the well Itzhak, quarrel, because they quarreled with him. They dug another well and quarreled over that one too. So he called it Sitnah, enmity. He went away from there and dug another well, and over that one they didn't quarrel. So he called it Rachavot, wide open spaces, and said, "Because now Adonai has made room for us, we will be productive in the land." From there Itzhak went up to Beersheba. Adonai appeared to him that same night and said, "I am the God of Abraham your father. Don't be afraid. Because I am with you, I will bless you and increase your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham." There he built an altar and called on the name of Adonai. He pitched his tent there, and there Itzhak's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar with his friend Ahuzat and Pechol, the commander of his army. Itzhak said to them, "Why have you come to me, even though you were unfriendly to me and sent me away?" They answered, we saw very clearly that Adonai has been with you. So we said, let there be an oath between us. Let's make a pact between ourselves and you, that you will not harm us, just as we have not caused you offense, but have done you nothing but good, and sent you on your way in peace. Now you are blessed by Adonai. Itzhak prepared a banquet for them, and they ate and drank. The next morning they got up early and swore to each other. Then Itzhak sent them out on their way, and they left them peacefully. That very day Itzhak's servants came and told him about a well they had dug. We have found water. So he called it Shava, oath, 7. And for this reason the name of the city is Beersheba, well of 7, well of an oath, to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basmat, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. But they, because of their embitterment of spirit to Itzhak and Rivkah. Now the course of time after Itzhak had grown old and his eyes dimmed so that he couldn't see, he called Esau, the older son, and said to him, My son. He answered, Here I am. Look, I am old now. I do not know when I will die. Therefore, please take your hunting gear, your quiver of arrow, and your bow. Go out in the country and get me some good game. Make it tasty the way I like it, and bring it to me to eat. Then I will bless you as firstborn before I die. Rivkah listening when Itzhak spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went out to the country to hunt for the game and bring it back, she said to her son Yaakov, Listen, I heard your father telling Esau your brother, Bring me game and make it tasty so I can eat it. Then I will give you my blessing in the presence of Adonai before my death. Now pay attention to me, my son, and do what I tell you. Go to the flock and bring back 2 choice kids. I will make it tasty for your father, the way he likes it, and you will bring it to your father to eat, so that he will give his blessing to you before his death. Yaakov answered Rivkah to his mother, Look, Esau is hairy, but I am smooth-skinned. Suppose my father touches me. He'll know I'm trying to trick him, and I'll bring a curse on myself, not a blessing. But his mother said, Let your curse be on me. Just listen to me, and go get me the kids. So he went, got them, and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared them in the tasty way his father loved. Next, Rivkah took Esau, his older son's best clothes, which she had with her in her house, and put them on Yaakov, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the goats in his hands and on the smooth parts of his neck. Then she gave the tasty food and the bread she had prepared for her son Yaakov. He went to his father and said, My father. He replied, Here I am. Who are you? My son? Yaakov said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done what you've asked me to do. Get up now, sit down, eat the game, and then give me your blessing. Itzhak said to his son, How did you find it so quickly, my son? He answered, Adonai, your God, made it happen that way. Itzhak said to Yaakov, Come here, close to me, so I can touch you, my son, and know whether you are in fact my son Esau or not. Yaakov approached Itzhak his father, who touched him and said, The voice is Yaakov's voice, but the hands are Esau's hands. However, he didn't detect him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands, so he gave him his blessings. He asked, Are you really my son, Esau? And he replied, I am. He said, Bring it here to me, and I will eat my son's game, so that I can give you my blessing. So he brought it up to him, and he ate. And he also brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father, Itzhak, said to him, Come close now, and kiss me, my son. He approached and kissed him. Itzhak smelled his clothes and blessed Yaakov with these words, See, my son smells like a field which Adonai has blessed. So may God give you the dew from heaven, the richness of the earth, and grain and wine in abundance. May peoples serve you and nations bow down to you. May you be Lord over your kinsmen. Let your mother's descendants bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. But as soon as Itzhak had finished giving his blessing to Yaakov, when Yaakov barely left his father's presence, Esau, his brother, came in from hunting. He too had prepared a tasty meal and brought it to his father. And now he said to his father, "Let my father get up and eat from his son's game, so that he may give me your blessing." Itzhak, his father, said to him, "Who are you?" And he answered, "I'm your son, your firstborn, Esau." Itzhak began trembling uncontrollably and said, "Then who was it that took the game and brought it to me? I ate it all just before you came in, and I gave my blessings to him." That's the truth, and the blessing must stand. When Esau heard his father's words, he burst into loud, bitter sobbing. "Father, bless me too," he begged. He replied, "Your brother came deceitfully and took away your blessing." Esau said, "His name, Yaakov, really suits him, because he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and here now he has taken away my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you saved a blessing for me?" Itzhak answered Esau, "Look, I have made him your lord, and I have given him all his kinsmen as servants. I have given him grain and wine to sustain him. What else is there that I can do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Have you only one blessing, my father? Father, bless me too." Esau wept aloud, and Itzhak his father answered him, "Here, your home will be the richness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. You will live by your sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you break loose, you will shake his yoke off your neck." Esau hated his brother because of the blessing his father had given him. Esau said to himself, "The time for mourning my father will soon come, and then I will kill my brother Yaakov." But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rivkah. She sent for Yaakov, her younger son, and said to him, "Here, your brother Esau is comforting himself over you by planning to kill you. Therefore, my son, listen to me. Get up and escape to Laban, my brother in Haran. Stay with him a little while until your brother's anger subsides. Your brother's anger will turn away from you, and he will forget what you did to him. Then I will send and bring you back from there. Why should I lose both of you on the same day?" Rivkah said to Itzhak, "I'm sick to death of Hittite women. If Yaakov marries one of the Hittite women like those who live here, my life won't be worth living."